Words on Water. Words on Water.
This episode is sponsored by Haver and Bacher, a family-managed, mid-sized company with its headquarters in Germany. Its wire weaving division is one of the most internationally significant manufacturers of woven wire cloth and have played a decisive role in shaping the technology of wire weaving for more than 130 years. With the highest precision, Haver and Bacher manufactures both simple and highly complex technical wire mesh products for many branches, including water filtration. Welcome to Words on Water, a podcast from the Water Environment Federation. This is the host, Travis Loop. Joined for this episode by Tim Gerdes. He is sales manager at Haver-Bacher, and very excited to talk to you today, Tim, about wire cloth and mesh screens and these materials and what role they play at water facilities and how they've evolved and kind of where these materials are going in the future. So let's just start, I guess, from the beginning here. What are the ways that the water industry uses wire cloth and mesh screens?
Hi, Travis. First of all, thank you for the invitation to that podcast. So the water sector uses wire cloth in a various range of applications. So most projects we have in-house have the target to separate and clean water from solids or any kind of debris. The range in this regard is very widespread. So on the one hand, we talk about large mesh panels that are used, for example, in rotary drum sieves for wastewater treatment to get out solids before the water is forwarded to chemical cleaning processes or settling tanks. On the other hand, we talk about multi-layer filters that are brought in a cylindrical or any other shape and that are used for ballast water treatment or irrigation systems or in the field of desalination. So these are some topics, but there are also other applications as well, which we might not imagine, such as the usage in water taps in households. So millions of water taps have a round mesh filter inside to optimize and straighten the water flow and to bring air inside the water flow to reduce the volume of water that is used and there to save money and energy, which is, I think, a very important topic, especially these days. So there's not the one and only application for wire mesh.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think of that initial screen at water facilities when, especially on the wastewater side, when, the collection system is bringing everything in and you're trying to screen out some of the bigger objects. But like you've pointed, there's all these other parts of facilities and systems that use, wire cloth and mesh screens. How have the materials evolved over the years, and how has that impacted their effectiveness and efficiency?
How have they evolved? So in the past years, the attention has been paid to the finest of mesh, often driven by other industries, not typically water industry, but for example, the screen printing application. So screen printing applications have requirements, very, very high requirements in regards to accuracy, to tight tolerances, as well as to precise thickness of the printing layer. And for example, these are characteristics necessary to print circuit boards. And means our focus also led on using finer and finer wires and to optimize weaving processes to have the most precise result that is possible. And of course, these developments made for other industries and branches also impacted all other fields we sell wire cloth, such as water industry or the water sector in general. So For water filtration or filtering processes, there's always one challenge or one conflict between two important parameters: filter fineness against the throughput. And of course, we paid attention to this topic as well, which led to a completely new weaving technique that was developed in our house. And used a new technique allows us to weave mesh with a high throughput and a low filter fineness in one product. So this was also a development made in the past years. And one step earlier, the raw material also evolved within the past years, that we are now able to use special alloys such as Avesta or Hastelloy C22 for a wide range of different wire diameters to ensure that our filters can be used under extreme environmental conditions as well, like seawater or any kind of chemical water processes. So that's just a short, brief overview about topics related to the wire mesh.
Yeah, and that some of that evolution has helped provide other benefits, right? Like in terms of energy efficiency, maybe, and aspects related to that.
Yes, of course. Due to weaving techniques and due to the fact that wire mesh is a surface filter, we have a good regeneration on our filters, or filters made of wire cloth, and thereof to the possibility to save money on the final end.
So what's going on now? What are your clients in the water industry asking for? What are they looking for when it comes to these materials?
Yeah, it's the challenge that I already mentioned. It's they need finer and finer filters to clean out any kind of debris, and on the other hand, they have massive water flows that have to be handled. So it's
complete
challenge.
Opposite, almost opposites, right? That's difficult to deliver on both of those. Wow.
Yeah, but that's something they're asking for. If we talk about, for example, the ballast water treatment, ballast water treatment plants on a ship, on a boat, has to be very small because they do not have much square meters for that. So you have to handle a very high throughput and a very low area in a very short time, and that can just be done if you provide a filter media that allows a high throughput, but also has a rough structure and is capable to handle such high volumes. So that's a challenge.
Sure. Technology and materials, everything's really always evolving. Seems like it's evolving more and more rapidly. There's different expectations, desires around sustainability and so forth.
Yeah.
Where do you see these materials, wire cloth, mesh screens, and so forth, kind of going over the next 5 years, 10 years?
Mm-hmm. Okay, as a matter of fact, the resource water gets more and more awareness worldwide. So that's a fact. Everyone should have access to clean, drinkable water, but water is also available just not in unlimited supply. So more and attention is paid to water treatment and wastewater processing. Another topic, but the same effect is the desalination of water. Even the processed water in closed circuits in production plants has to be processed and cleaned. And for all of this application, there's a mechanical cleaning step necessary. And wire mesh has the advantage and to be a surface filter. Debris or contaminants are retained on the surface. Means that wire mesh filters can be regenerated, which is highly beneficial when we talk about sustainability and reducing of costs. And this demand of reliable products increase massively in the next years. And they will ask for finer size ranges. We now talk about a target size of 5 to 10 micrometer, which is approximately 1/7 of the diameter of a human hair. So these particles have to be retained on the filter. And producing this fine mesh specification is a challenge we accepted in the past and will accept in the future. And from my point of view, we have a good chance to be part and to be a reliable partner within this water sector in the future. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's and just again, I'm astonished by the challenges, expectations, requests, that and just how they all are almost paradoxical, but it's what you all do. Yeah, well, Tim, thank you very much. This is very informative, a conversation we have not had here on the podcast, but obviously a critical piece of the water industry. So thank you very much.
It was a pleasure. Thank you as well.